My name doesn't matter much in this story. What matters is what I lost. For 4 years, I believed I had everything figured out. I worked as an electrician, nothing glamorous, but steady. Emma worked as an assistant for a real estate company downtown. We shared a small apartment with a leaky faucet and a couch we bought secondhand. I thought it was enough. I thought she thought so too. "You're staring again," Emma said one night, laughing as she caught me watching her cook. "Can't help it," I said. "I'm looking at my future wife." She rolled her eyes, but she smiled. "Future wife who can't afford a real wedding." "We'll get there," I said. "One step at a time." She didn't answer that night. I didn't think much of it. My best friend Ryan never trusted the whole thing. "You really think she's happy with this?" he asked one afternoon, nodding toward our building. "Small apartment, tight budget, same routine every week." "She loves me," I said. "That's what matters." "Love doesn't pay rent," Ryan said. "And it definitely doesn't buy the stuff her boss buys her." "What are you talking about?" "The bag, the shoes, the work dinners that run until midnight." He shook his head. "Come on, man. Open your eyes." I didn't want to hear it. Emma's boss, Victor Harrison, ran the company she worked for. He was rich, confident, the kind of man who filled a room just by walking into it. I'd met him twice. Both times, something about him made my stomach tighten. "He's just friendly," Emma told me once when I asked about the late nights. "That's how he is with everyone." "Every night, Emma? Are you jealous?" She laughed it off. "Victor's my boss. Nothing more." I believed her. Or maybe I just wanted to. My sister Sarah wasn't as easy to convince. "You've been quiet lately," she said, showing up unannounced one Sunday with coffee. "Everything okay with Emma?" "Yeah," I said. "Just busy. Her job's been demanding." Sarah studied my face the way she used to when we were kids, and she knew I was hiding a bad grade. "You don't sound sure." "I am sure," I said, more to convince myself than her. "Okay." She squeezed my hand. "Just take care of yourself. Promise me that." "I promise." I should have listened to both of them. It happened on a Thursday. I remember because Thursdays were supposed to be our night. Takeout and a movie, nothing special, just us. I came home early, excited, holding a small velvet box I'd been saving for months to afford. Emma was already home, sitting on the couch, still in her work clothes. She didn't look up when I walked in. "Hey," I said, setting my keys down. "I got us dinner. And I have something too." "We need to talk," she said. Something in her voice stopped me cold. "Okay, what's wrong?" She finally looked at me, and her eyes were dry. "Not sad, just tired." "I'm leaving," she said. I laughed, thinking it was a joke. "Leaving? Leaving for what?" "Leaving you." She stood up, arms crossed. "I can't do this anymore." "Do what?" "Emma, what are you talking about?" "This." She waved her hand around the apartment. "The leaky faucet. The second-hand furniture. Counting every dollar before we spend it. I'm tired of struggling." My chest tightened. "We talked about this. We said we'd build something together. Slow but real." "I don't want slow," she said. "I don't want to spend the next 10 years wondering if we can afford groceries." "So this is about money?" "It's about my life," she snapped. "Victor offered me a position at his new office. More money than I've ever made. And he—" She stopped herself. My hands went cold. "He what, Emma?" She looked away. "He makes me feel like I deserve more. And I don't make you feel that way. You make me feel safe," she said quietly. "But safe isn't enough anymore." I set the velvet box on the table, hands shaking. "I was going to ask you to marry me tonight." For a second, something flickered in her eyes. Regret, maybe. Then it was gone. "I'm sorry," she said. "I already made my choice." "Emma, please." My voice cracked, and I hated myself for it. "Don't do this. We can figure it out. I'll work more hours, I'll—" "Stop." She picked up the bag she'd apparently already packed, sitting by the door the whole time I hadn't noticed. "Please don't make this harder than it already is." "You're really doing this," I said. "You're really walking out." She didn't answer. She just walked past me, opened the door, and left. I stood there, staring at the space where she used to be. The takeout bag sat cold on the counter. The velvet box sat open on the table, the ring inside catching the kitchen light. I don't know how long I stood in that empty apartment. Long enough for the sun to set completely. Long enough for the silence to feel unbearable. My old life had ended, and I had no idea what was supposed to come next. The weeks after Emma left blurred together. I stopped shaving, stopped answering texts. Some nights I just sat on the floor of that empty apartment, staring at the space where her shoes used to sit by the door. Ryan let himself in with the spare key one Saturday morning and found me still in the same clothes from 2 days before. "This is disgusting," he said, stepping over a pile of takeout containers. "You smell disgusting." "Thanks," I muttered. "Really needed that." "I'm serious." He grabbed the blinds and yanked them open. Sunlight hit me like a slap. "You've missed work 3 times this month. Your boss called me, man." "Me. Not you. I'll go in Monday." "You said that last Monday." He sat down across from me, his voice dropping. "Look, I get it. She destroyed you. But you're destroying yourself now, and she doesn't even know it. She's not sitting somewhere crying over you. She's out there living her new life. So what am I supposed to do?" "Live yours," Ryan said. "Actually live it. Not this." I didn't answer. Part of me still believed staying broken meant staying loyal to what we had. "I know a guy," Ryan continued. "Daniel Brooks. Runs a contracting and design firm. Struggling to keep it afloat, but he's smart. He's fair, and he needs someone he can trust. I told him about you. I'm an electrician, Ryan, not a businessman. He needs an electrician who shows up on time and doesn't cut corners. That's you, when you're not busy rotting on your own floor." I almost laughed. "Almost. Just meet him," Ryan said. "One conversation. That's all I'm asking." I met Daniel Brooks 3 days later at a half-finished office building downtown. He was maybe 50, gray at the temples, sleeves rolled up like he still did the work himself. "Ryan says you're reliable," he said, shaking my hand. "Says you disappeared for a while. Personal stuff? Something like that. I'm not going to pry." He handed me a hard hat. "But I will say this. Everybody's got a story that could keep them home in bed. The ones worth keeping around get up anyway." "I'm trying," I said. "Trying's a start. Let's see if you can wire this building without burning it down." I got the job that day. The work gave me something to focus on besides the silence at home. Long hours, tired hands, a paycheck that meant something because I earned it alone. That's where I met Mia. She managed the project schedules, sharp and no nonsense, the kind of person who caught mistakes before they became disasters. "You're the new guy Daniel keeps talking about," she said, clipboard in hand, the first week I started. "Guilty," I said. "He says you work harder than anyone on the crew." Not much else to do with my time. She studied me for a second, like she wanted to ask more, then decided against it. "Well, keep it up. This place needs people who actually care." Over the following weeks, Mia became someone I looked forward to seeing. She never asked about my past. Never pushed. When I mentioned Emma once, just her name slipping out during a tired conversation, Mia simply said, "You don't have to explain. Whenever you're ready. If ever." That's it. No questions. "Everybody's got something," she said. "I respect people who show up anyway." Somehow, that meant more than any sympathy could have. Ryan noticed the change first. "You're smiling again," he said one evening over beers. "Didn't think I'd see that for a while." "Work's been good," I said. "Daniel's teaching me things." "Mia's." I paused. "She's a good friend." "Just a friend. Don't start." He grinned. "I'm not starting anything. Just saying, it's nice seeing you build something instead of drowning in what you lost." He wasn't wrong. But some days, the past found a way back in any way. Sarah called one afternoon, her voice careful. "I saw something online. Emma posted pictures. Some gala event with Victor." My stomach dropped. "And?" "She looked happy," Sarah said. "I just didn't want you finding out some other way." "Thanks for telling me," I said, though it hurt more than I let on. "You okay?" "I will be." I didn't sleep much that night, picturing Emma in some designer dress, laughing on Victor's arm, living the life she chose over me. Part of me wanted to hate her. Part of me still ached for what we used to have. But the next morning, I showed up to work anyway. Daniel handed me blueprints for a new project. Mia brought me coffee without being asked. "Rough night?" she asked. "Something like that." "Well, today's a new one," she said. "Make it count." I started believing her. Slowly, day by day, I stopped measuring my worth by what Emma thought of me. I measured it by what I built with my own hands. Wires connected, walls finished, a paycheck earned through effort instead of luck. The scars stayed. But for the first time since she walked out that door, I felt like I was becoming someone again. Someone who didn't need her to survive. 3 years changed everything. I stood in the kitchen of the house I built, literally and figuratively, listening to rain tap against the windows. My windows. My house. Something I never thought I'd have when I was sitting on that apartment floor, drowning in what Emma left behind. You closing up the Miller project tonight? Daniel asked over the phone, his voice crackling through the storm. Already sent the final numbers, I said. We're ahead of schedule. Course you are. He laughed. Half this company runs because of you now. You know that, right? You gave me the chance, I said. I just didn't waste it. Mia's still driving you crazy with those spreadsheets. Every single day, I said, smiling. Wouldn't trade it. We hung up, and I stood there for a moment, letting the quiet settle in. This was my life now. Earned. Solid. Mine. Then someone knocked on the door. I wasn't expecting anyone, not in this weather. I opened it, and my entire body went cold. Emma stood on my porch, soaked from the rain, mascara running down her face. She looked nothing like the woman who walked out 3 years ago. Her clothes were worn. Her hands shook. Please, she said, voice breaking. Can I talk to you? I couldn't speak for a second. Emma, I know I shouldn't be here. Tears mixed with rain on her cheeks. I didn't know where else to go. I stepped back, letting her in without fully deciding to. She stood dripping in my entryway, looking smaller than I remembered. What happened to you? I asked. Victor happened, she said bitterly. He cheated on me. Multiple times, apparently, while I was too blind to see it. Emma, that's not even the worst part. Her voice cracked further. His business collapsed. Fraud charges. He used my name on accounts I didn't even know existed. I'm drowning in debt because of him. He left me with nothing, not even a goodbye. I stood there, absorbing every word. Part of me wanted to feel satisfaction. Another part just felt hollow. I'm sorry that happened to you, I said carefully. Are you? She asked. Or do you think I deserve it? I didn't say that. I deserve it, she whispered. I left you for money and status, and I lost everything anyway. You built this, she gestured around the house, and I destroyed what we had for nothing. My chest tightened. Old memories surfaced, uninvited. The velvet box. The takeout going cold. For years of loving someone who walked away without looking back. Why are you here, Emma? She stepped closer, eyes desperate. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I think about you constantly. I think about what we could have had if I'd just been patient, if I'd trusted what we were building instead of chasing something shinier. That's a lot to say after 3 years of silence. I know. Her hands trembled. I know I don't deserve a second chance. But I'm asking anyway. Please, can we start over? My heart pounded so hard I could feel it in my throat. Part of me, some old, buried part, still remembered loving her. Remembered the laughter, the plans, the life we imagined together. But another part remembered standing alone in that apartment, ring box open on the table, listening to the door close behind her. Emma, the front door opened before I could finish. Hey, I saw your truck and figured I'd stop by before. Ryan froze mid-sentence, eyes locking on Emma. You have got to be kidding me. Ryan, I said. Is this real right now? He looked between us, disbelief written across his face. She shows up after 3 years, and you just let her in? She's going through something, I said. She put you through something? Ryan snapped. Have you forgotten what she did? What it took to pull you off that floor? I haven't forgotten, I said quietly. Emma flinched at his words, but didn't argue. He has every right to be angry, she said. Everyone does. You're right about that, Ryan said, arms crossed. So what exactly are you asking him for, Emma? Forgiveness? Money? A place to stay? I'm asking for a second chance, she said, looking back at me. That's all. The room fell silent except for the rain hammering against the windows. Ryan looked at me, waiting. Emma looked at me, waiting. I looked between them, my mind racing through 3 years of rebuilding. Every hour I spent becoming someone I was proud of, someone who didn't need her to feel whole. I need time, I finally said. I can't just decide this in 5 minutes. Emma nodded slowly, wiping her eyes. That's fair. Ryan didn't look satisfied, but he stayed quiet, watching me carefully like he was trying to read exactly how much of the old me might still be standing in that room. Ryan left that night still shaking his head, muttering something about calling him if I needed backup. Emma stayed on my couch, wrapped in a towel I'd given her, waiting for me to say something. Tell me everything, I said finally, sitting across from her. All of it. She took a shaky breath. Victor never loved me. I understand that now. He saw someone insecure about money, someone he could shape into whatever he needed. Needed for what? Access, she said. To company accounts. Business connections. He used my position to move money nobody was supposed to notice. I didn't know at first. I swear I didn't know. And later, her eyes dropped. Later, I saw things that didn't add up. Numbers that didn't match. I asked him about it once, and he told me not to worry, that it was complicated business strategy. I wanted to believe him because believing him meant I got to keep the life he promised me. So you ignored it. I ignored it, she admitted. Greed blinded me. I told myself I deserved the house, the trips, the status. By the time I realized what he really was, I'd already burned down everything real I had, including you. My chest ached, hearing her say it out loud. Anger and pity tangled together, impossible to separate. You destroyed us for a lie, I said quietly. I know. Her voice cracked. And there's no excuse that makes that okay. The following days blurred with phone calls and updates from Sarah, who'd been following the story online. They're investigating Victor, she told me over coffee. Some detective named Lisa Carter is leading it. Fraud charges. Multiple employees affected, not just Emma. How bad is it? Bad enough that his own business partner turned on him, Sarah said. Kevin Lawson gave a statement to investigators. Said Victor had been running this scheme for years. I sat with that information, feeling something between vindication and exhaustion. You've been quiet since she showed up, Sarah said, studying me. How are you handling all this? Honestly, I don't know, I admitted. Part of me remembers loving her. Part of me remembers exactly how much rebuilding it took to stop needing her. You fought hard to become who you are now, Sarah reminded me. Don't forget that just because she's crying on your doorstep. I haven't forgotten. Mia noticed the shift too, though she never pushed the way Ryan did. You seem distracted, she said one afternoon at the office, sliding a coffee across my desk. Emma's back, I admitted. Long story. I heard pieces, Mia said carefully. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Why not? Everyone else has an opinion. Because it's not my decision, she said simply. It's yours. Whatever you choose, I'll still be here, showing up for work, still your friend. That part doesn't change. Her steadiness meant more than she probably realized. Detective Carter's investigation moved fast. Within 2 weeks, Victor was arrested, his assets frozen, his reputation destroyed publicly. Kevin Lawson's testimony sealed the case, revealing years of fraud that touched dozens of innocent employees, their savings gone, their trust betrayed just like Emma's. Emma lost everything in the fallout. Her career, tied to Victor's company, evaporated overnight. Her name got dragged through headlines as the mistress and the accomplice, even though investigators eventually cleared her of criminal involvement. She showed up at my door again, thinner, quieter than before. I have nothing left, she said. No job, no reputation, no savings. Victor made sure of that before everything collapsed. I'm sorry you're going through this. I'm not asking for sympathy, she said. I'm asking you to understand something. I finally know what real love looks like. It looks like someone who stays even when things aren't perfect. Someone who builds instead of chasing shiny things. I threw that away when I had it. Emma, I'm not asking you to forget what I did, she said quickly. I'm asking for one more chance to prove I've changed. That's all. I sat with her words, feeling the weight of everything. The betrayal, the years apart, the life I built without her, and the small, stubborn part of my heart that still remembered loving her before all this happened. I need to think, I said again. You keep saying that. Because it's true, I said. You didn't just break my trust, Emma. You broke something in me that took years to rebuild. I can't just erase that because you're standing here with nowhere else to go. Tears filled her eyes, but she nodded. That's fair. After she left, I sat alone in my living room, staring at the rain still streaking down the windows. Victor was gone, arrested, exposed. Emma had lost everything she chased. And somehow, the hardest fight left wasn't against her. It was against the part of my own heart that still wasn't sure what forgiveness was supposed to look like. I didn't sleep much that week. Every night, I replayed the same memories, the promises we made, the plans we drew out on napkins, and the silence that followed her walking out the door 3 years ago. You've barely touched your food, Mia said, sitting across from me at lunch. Still thinking about Emma? Trying not to, I said. Not working very well. You don't owe her an answer right away, Mia said. Take whatever time you need. I know. I just keep asking myself the same question over and over. Which is, can I forgive her without going back to her? Mia set her fork down. Those aren't the same thing, you know. Forgiveness is for you. Rebuilding a relationship is a completely different decision. Her words stuck with me the rest of the day. I called Sarah that evening, needing someone who'd watched every part of my journey from the beginning. "What do you think I should do?" I asked. "I think you already know," Sarah said. "You've asked me the same question 3 different ways this week, and every time, you sound like someone who's already made peace with the answer. Say it anyway. You can forgive her, Danny. You should, honestly, for your own sake. But forgiving someone doesn't mean you owe them your future." I sat with that for a long moment. "It feels harsh." "It's not harsh," Sarah said. "It's honest. You spent 3 years becoming someone strong enough to survive what she did. Don't let guilt talk you into throwing that away." Emma came back one final time on a quiet Sunday afternoon. No rain this time, just gray skies and silence. "You look like you've made a decision," she said, standing on my porch. "I have," I said, stepping aside to let her in one last time. We sat across from each other, the same living room where this had all unraveled weeks earlier. "I forgive you, Emma," I said. Her eyes widened, hope flickering across her face. "But I can't rebuild what we had," I continued. "You made a choice 3 years ago, and I made a choice too, to become someone who doesn't need chaos to feel alive." "I understand," she said quietly, though I could see the disappointment settling in. "Do you?" I asked gently. "Because I need you to hear this clearly. This isn't about punishing you. I don't want hatred controlling my life anymore. But forgiveness and reconciliation aren't the same thing. I won't confuse them." She nodded slowly, wiping her eyes. "I think part of me knew you'd say that. I just needed to try. I hope you rebuild something real for yourself," I said. "Honestly, starting from the bottom if that's what it takes." "That's exactly what I'm planning," she said. "No shortcuts this time. No chasing someone else's money or status." "Good," I said, and I meant it. She stood, gathering herself before heading toward the door. "Thank you," she said, turning back. "For what?" "For letting me in that night. For listening. For showing me kindness I probably didn't deserve after everything I did." Her voice wavered. "You didn't have to be that kind to me. I did it for me too," I admitted. Holding on to anger was exhausting. "Letting it go doesn't mean I'm inviting you back in." "I know," she said softly. "Goodbye." "Goodbye, Emma." She walked out, and this time, closing the door behind her felt different. Not painful, just final. Months passed quickly after that. Emma found work at a small firm, starting over completely, no shortcuts, no wealthy men promising easy answers. Sarah mentioned she seemed different now, humbler, quieter, actually present in her own life instead of chasing someone else's. Meanwhile, my life kept moving forward. Daniel promoted me again, trusting me with bigger projects, bigger responsibilities. And Mia, who'd stood beside me through every difficult decision without ever asking for anything in return, slowly became something more than a friend. "You've been smiling a lot lately," Ryan said one evening, nodding toward Mia across the room at a company gathering. "Been a good few months," I said. "You two finally figured it out, huh?" "Took long enough," I admitted, watching Mia laugh at something Sarah said nearby. "What Mia and I built wasn't built on empty promises or chasing status. It grew slowly, through trust, through showing up consistently, through choosing each other again and again without needing grand gestures to prove it meant something." Looking back now, I understand something I couldn't see in that empty apartment 3 years ago. Emma didn't ruin my life. She forced me, unknowingly, painfully, into becoming the man I was always capable of becoming. Some people return to us not asking for forgiveness, but reminding us exactly how far we've come since they left. Emma reminded me of that the moment she stood on my porch, soaked and desperate, asking for something I could give freely without giving everything back. I closed that door for the final time that Sunday, and for the first time in 3 years, closing it didn't feel like losing something. It felt like finally being free.